Sarada was humiliated by Hidari, Himawari showed all her power, and Boruto saved everyone. I'm Andrew, the Geek Master, and in this video we'll cover everything that happened in Chapter 11 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. To not miss stories like this, click the subscribe button, activate the bell, and let's get started. Chapter 11 starts exactly where we left off in the previous one, with Inojin impaled and nearly dead while Himawari stands with her hair flying, having awakened the Kurama mode. The girl descends from the trunk that was surrounding her, leaving everyone shocked at what they're seeing. Jura immediately realizes this is the result of the Nine Tails chakra, while Shikadai can't stop being amazed, remembering that just a moment ago, Himawari's leg was completely broken, and now it's fully healed. Then, as if nothing had happened, Himawari just places her hand on the trunk, impaling Inojin. And with her hair, she removes Inojin's body and lays him on the ground, much to Shikadai's distress, who knows that, because of the size of the boy's wound, this kind of movement could harm him even more. But then, Shikadai is quite surprised to see that his friend's body is regenerating. The hole that should have been in Inojin's stomach is simply closing, and it's obvious that it was Himawari who did this by accessing Kurama's regenerative powers. She tells her friends that she's not sure if Inojin is fully healed, so they must take him to the hospital as soon as possible. When Shikadai asks what this power she's using is, Himawari responds that she doesn't know either, but believes that Jura can somehow sense this power of hers. To confirm this, she intends to face him alone. After all, if she doesn't, they will all die. While Jura looks intently at the girl, Himawari asks again that they leave because she is their target, so they should be able to escape from here. Indeed, despite Chocho's protests, Shikadai prepares to leave with Inojin. Being the son of who he is, he knows this is a fight they can't win. If they stay, they will only get in Himawari's way, so they need to save as many lives as possible. Jura himself praises Shikadai's thinking, stating that he won't forget the young ninja's name and promising that they will meet again soon. Even so, Chocho refuses to abandon Himawari. Himawari confesses that she's not sure what to do, but with this power she has now, she needs to take responsibility. She knows she needs to protect others because both her father and brother would do the same. Only when Chocho sees this determination in Himawari does she finally agree to flee the battle, but not before reminding Himawari that she promised to eat pancakes with her later. As Team 10 leaves, Himawari seriously faces the villain and slowly approaches him. Jura states that he understands they are not fools, which is why he's so surprised by how they make so many bad decisions. An example of this was Inojin himself, who ignored Jura's warning several times until his rationality ended, and his reckless behavior resulted in his destruction. At this moment, Himawari is face to face with Jura, who continues to say he doesn't understand how Himawari awakened her new powers. He's not sure if it was a coincidence or if it's related to what happened with Inojin. But Himawari isn't in the mood for conversation. With a completely cold look, she just tells him to shut up and then delivers a super punch so powerful with her left hand to Jura's stomach that the villain starts being pushed back, dragging his feet on the ground and destroying everything around. She then lands another super punch with her right hand, and this time the villain goes flying a great distance, leaving a trail of destruction behind him until he finally collides with some rocks. Yes, Himawari is showing just how incredibly powerful she is here. Of course, this isn't enough to defeat a god tree. From where Jura collided with the rocks, he flies up and charges at Himawari at super speed. The girl quickly prepares for a counterattack. We see that the tips of her hair, which are exactly 9 points, start undulating like tails until we get this incredible and beautiful image of Himawari forming a Bijuu Dama with the tips of her hair. Seeing this scene, Jura quickly stops in mid-air, and with his right eye, he also forms a Bijuu Dama like he has done before. The action continues as Himawari launches her Bijuu Dama in another beautiful, stunning image, and at the same time, Jura also launches his Bijuu Dama, which heads towards the black sphere launched by Himawari. The result is another spectacular image showing the collision of the two powers, resulting in a massive explosion that can be heard and felt from a distance. Both Shikadai and Chocho, who were fleeing, quickly look back, wondering if Hima is okay. After this absurd demonstration of power, Himawari looks at Jura above her, with the ground completely in pieces around her. Jura says it's no surprise that Himawari's power comes from the Nine Tails, but is impressed that she's able to use a Bijuu Dama at this stage. He's so impressed with the girl's rapid evolution that he decides to loosen up a bit more. First, he lands a massive headbutt to Himawari's mouth, knocking her back. When the girl manages to recover, Jura is already above her and delivers a kick so strong that it slams her into the ground, shattering much of the area they're in. When Jura finally lands on the ground, he says that this is the first time Himawari has allowed him to let loose, and with that, he's starting to want to take this fight seriously. Now we go to Leaf Village, where we see Hidari getting up from the ground, surrounded by Sarada, Sumire, Konohamaru, and another Junin. As Hidari gets up, Sarada comments that despite the fatal wound she inflicted on the villain, she promises to leave him alone if he answers what exactly he is and how he can use Chidori. Hidari doesn't say anything. We just see a focus on his eye as he starts to sink into a claw mark until the part of his wound is completely submerged. Then he fully returns, and the Leaf Village ninjas notice that the side of his body that had been fatally wounded by Sarda is completely healed. This makes everyone quite tense about the situation, and it's when Hidari finally decides to speak, being a bit curious about Sarda's eyes, which are Sharingan. He also expresses surprise to learn that the name of the move he used is called Chidori, and quickly understands that to execute it perfectly, he needs eyes like Sarda's. Konohamaru is a bit more specific and, to Sarda's surprise, asks what Hidari's relationship is with Sasuke. In response, Hidari says he doesn't even know who this Sasuke is. In fact, he came to the Leaf Village to learn more about himself. However, at this moment, Sumire notices something wrong and yells for Konohamaru to protect Sarda. Konohamaru and Sarda don't quite understand Sumire's reaction, but the girl is sure that Hidari's target is Sarda. Unfortunately, while everyone is distracted by this confusion, we see a hand appearing behind Sarda through a claw mark. Obviously, it's Hidari's hand, which immediately uses some electric jutsu to brutally attack the girl, so much so that we see Sarda's eyes turning white to everyone's despair. The Junin who was accompanying them even tries to use an earth-style jutsu to help Sarda, but Hidari quickly attacks him with a fire jutsu that immediately sets the ninja on fire, causing him to scream in agony and pain. Konohamaru knows he needs to do something. Sarda is falling to her knees in pain, while a ninja is burning alive right in front of her. Indeed, Konohamaru charges at Hidari, already prepared with a Rasengan, but quickly Hidari teleports from one claw mark to another behind Konohamaru. With this, Hidari immediately engages a Chidori that, if it hit Konohamaru, would certainly kill him instantly. However, fortunately, Konohamaru introduces us to a new jutsu, Wind-style Rasen Barricade. It's a kind of defensive Rasengan, and thanks to this, he's able to block the Chidori, although he's still thrown back until he crashes into a wall. Another ninja appears to help the heroes, but he's shocked to see Hidari's eyes. Without Konohamaru's protection, Sumire, who was trying to help Sarda, is the next to be hit by the villain's electric attack, fainting instantly. Sarda can't do anything to help her friend because her body won't move, and the worst part is that Hidari is approaching her. Now we return to the fight between Himawari and Jura. Here, we see Himawari taking quite a beating. Jura gives Himawari a thrashing, even using ocular attacks that Hima can't see. The result is that Himawari is left completely injured by Jura's blows, who is surprised to see how incredible Hima's recovery abilities are. It's better than that of a human or even a Jinchuriki. It's almost similar to that of a god tree. However, even though she can heal her wounds, she cannot prevent her chakra from being drained. This is confirmed by Kurama inside Hima. The Nine-Tails realizes that they are indeed in serious danger and understands just how powerful and dangerous Jura is. At the same time, we see Kawaki and Delta flying at full speed in search of Himawari. Delta even asks what they're going to do when they find the guys who just beat up Kawaki, to which Kawaki has no answer and can only show frustration with the question. However, at that moment, they sense someone approaching, and that someone quickly passes by them. And it's then that we see it's Boruto. Yes, Boruto demonstrates an incredible speed that leaves both Delta and Kawaki impressed. This speed is even more highlighted when we see Boruto approaching Jura and Himawari. He quickly grabs his sister right in front of Jura and then withdraws once more at super speed. Meanwhile, back in the Leaf Village, Hidari transforms his arms into a tree trunk as he tells Sarada that he really doesn't know what he is, but for some reason, it's as if he knows Sarada. Then he starts to envelop Sarada with his trunk arm and asks the same thing. He wants to know what Sarada is and what he will gain if he devours her right now. At this point, Sarada notices something. Looking at the post above Hidari, she sees a small frog with a square symbol in its hand. Then the frog on Boruto's collar confirms Sarada's presence to him and tells him the symbol is square. It's here that Boruto makes a hand seal and uses the flying Raijin Jutsu. With this jutsu, Boruto is teleported to where the leaf frog was and appears above Hidari, seeing his friend in danger. With Himawari in his arms, Boruto draws his sword and cuts off Hidari's trunk arm, finally freeing Sarada. Both Hidari and Konohamaru and another Jounin who appears are shocked to see Boruto's timely arrival. We get this very cool scene of Boruto with Hima in his arms between Hidari and Sarada. And the chapter ends with Jura proclaiming that this was a crafty move. Hidari merely exclaims the name Otsutsuki Boruto, while Boruto turns and faces his enemies. I hope you enjoyed this mega chapter that featured great moments, awesome battles, and good twists. If you liked it, don't forget to leave your like, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel to not miss the next stories we're preparing for you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next adventure.